Greetings and salutations, Internet. Welcome to X-Rated Talk Productions. Now, if you've been watching the channel the past couple of months, we've been reviewing the Scary Stories books by Alvin Schwartz and Stephen Gemmell. Well, in our last video, we did some of our favorite illustrations. Now, I thought that was going to be the end of the story, but it is not. As you may or may not know, the original books, the original 3 books, were re-released some years ago, and to the rage of anybody who read the original versions, found out that the original art and or illustrations have been changed, done replacing the Stephen Gemmell art, which was very much a part of the experience of reading this, more than just as much as reading the stories themselves. Now, folks aren't too happy about this. The art style, people are saying, is weak compared to the original illustrations. Well, I wanted to do here was my top favorite alternate art or alternate illustrations for this book series. Now, what I went ahead and did was grabbed all 3 of the remade versions of these books and just kind of poked through the images, looking for my favorite ones, and here are my favorites. Now, you may be asking yourself, why do this video at all? You already reviewed all 3 of the books and did a video talking about your favorite illustrations. So, why even touch this? Well, I saw the way the internet was reacting to these new pictures, and I felt like it was a little unfair. They're not bad or anything, they're just not as hard as the old ones. The old art had something of a dark, cryptic, almost hellish kind of look to it, something dreamlike and not of this world. Whereas these new pictures kind of have almost a toonish kind of look to them. And I think that makes it a little bit easier to read for younger folks, which, you gotta remember, is what these stories were intended to be for. I mean, you can get it, you can understand that even while reading some of the stories, especially in the first book. It just seemed very simple. But I feel like there are a couple of gems here, and I wanted to share those with you. Now, for the sake of keeping things fair, I'm going to try to ignore the old illustrations as much as possible, unless one directly speaks to me. But I want to judge these illustrations on their own merit. I know the old illustrations do exist, but I feel like these guys deserve a shot. Alright, well, let's get right into this. Alright, folks, so here are my top favorite alternate Scary Stories illustrations. Once again, these illustrations are done by Brett Hellquist. Here is the cover of the first book. Here are my favorites from the first book. First one starts on page 22. It's kind of odd, almost like a mummy cling to get these folks. I love it. Love it. Our next one is on page 24. Alright. There's what she looks like. I love it. It's got kind of, it's like something is not quite right going on here. You know, it's you know, we got the moons shining there. We got a woman seemingly riding a horse with a dead person. It's really eerie. All right. The one after that is on page 30. Here you go. You know, I love how it's like a spirit, like just seemingly trying to just get in contact with anybody. It doesn't really seem like an evil spirit. The priest does seem a bit nervous, but it's to be expected when dealing with ghosts. Alright. The one after that is on page 48. Alright. I like this one. I like it that they don't have defined eyes. Like, they're already dead, you know? I especially like that little girl in the corner who seems the most upset about this entire thing. Uh, the elevator employee seems quite happy with himself there, though. One, please. Coming to our final two in book one is on page 62. This is probably one of my favorite ones in the entire book. Or it probably is my favorite one in the entire book. Alright, here we go. It appears to be a woman dancing with the Grim Reaper. We got more of that cool moon background thing going on there, and it seems almost kind of romantic in a way. I don't know. I like it. Our final one for book one is on page 65. Alright. And here she is. It's obviously the story about the truck driver behind her and the guy in the back seat, but I like this. I don't think I like it as much as the other version of it, but I like it. Hello, folks, and here is the remade version of book two. Our little bird friend seems to be hanging out in this image as well. Here are my favorite images or illustrations in book two. The first one begins on page 8. Here we go. There, I'll let that sink in for you. I like it that it's kind of very eerie, like something is kind of almost dragging you down into like the depths of hell or something like that. Okay, our next one is on page 32. Alright. This one comes off as somewhat more playful. It's almost like they'll never kind of find me sort of image. Alright, the one after that is on page 44. It's one of the simpler images of the bunch, but I think it's pretty creepy. Alright, I hate the idea of somebody just looking in on me through a window, so that's why this image kind of spoke to me. And our last one for book 2 is on page 56. Alright, now I must admit for this one, I do rather like the original image much better for Oh Susanna. In fact, it's even on my computer desktop screen as we speak. But, you know, it's really well drawn, and we've all had those feelings of hiding under the covers, thinking there's somebody behind us, you know, in the dark at night. I like it. I think it's probably my favorite one of this book. Alright, cool. Alright, guys, here's my top favorite alternate art for this version of Scary Stories 3. Alright, now our first page actually begins on page 2. Alright, we got her. Is this? Yep, that's Death Among Us, y'all. And he is suited perfectly. I really like it. It's got more of that kind of no ghost-like features for characters that a lot of these alternate stories have had. Alright, our second one is on page 9. And this is the image. Alright, yeah, that goes pretty well with the story too, is this character is a son of a bitch, and he is enjoying that bloody, icky liver thing. Yep. Alright. Next is on page 12, only on page 2 later. And, yeah. It's not the most detailed or, you know, creepiest, but it does give us that feeling of being lost in the woods, you know, and being something so small compared to something so big. I like it. After that, we got page 24. Alright. Yep, more that featureless eyes kind of thing, where the horse itself represents death. Alright. Then we got page 44. Ooh. And I do believe that this one is my favorite of this book. We have this image from the Wolf Girl story. It really created something of a beautiful nature, something beautiful mixed with something natural. You know, it's this girl's essentially been raised by wolves. Let me fix that. And you know, I mean, it's probably the most risque of the story of the illustrations I've seen in the series, because it is basically a naked woman, and it kind of goes along with a lot of the story, especially as the girl gets older. I love it. I might actually get this on my computer as well. Alright, so our final favorite image of the remade trilogy is on page 82. And here it is. Yep, it's not as it's not as playful as the original image, but it does kind of relate to that. I know I'm something terrifying, but is everything okay, buddy? Kind of a thing that the story and the original image was going for, so I like it. Well, thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much for sticking with us through these stories. These have been fun, and it's getting close to Halloween, so yeah, it should be perfect to go along with that. Yeah, so see you soon. Bye.